Welcome back to the Ice West Sports Podcast. I'm Griff.
I'm Matt.
Today we're doing our first mock draft of the 2024 NFL Draft. The draft order for the non-playoff teams is currently set after Week 18.
Yes, sir.
So here we are. Bears are on the clock after getting the first pick from the Panthers. First overall pick, it's got to be quarterback, right?
Right. I mean, I feel like leading up to the past couple of weeks, it was kind of a question mark if they're going to keep Justin Fields or not. But I think it's pretty clear that they're going to move on from him.
Yeah.
Fields, in his press conference after the game in Week 18, seemed like it was his final game as a Bear. And I mean, how often do you have two picks from the top 10 and have a loaded quarterback draft class?
Correct.
I think you got to go quarterback.
Yeah, I think Caleb Williams has to be the play for them.
Yeah, and Caleb Williams, I mean, he's a little different of a quarterback than Justin Fields because he's not as reliant on his legs in his game, but he still does bring that improviser mentality.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's probably as surefire of a pick as you're going to get in this draft. I mean, leading up until this season, he was the consensus one. People labeled him, generational. I hate using that term because it's thrown around so easily, but I do think Caleb Williams will be successful in the NFL.
I agree. I would also like to point out we're not doing trades in this one. We will post a mock draft later on in going into the offseason with trades. So,
Yep.
Number 2, we got Washington on the clock. Now, do they move on from Sam Howell? I think they probably do. They just fired Riverboat Ron.
Yeah, so this is my pick, right? We're alternating.
Yeah.
So you took Caleb Williams at 1. I think Washington, I mean, yeah, Sam Howell had lots of ups and downs, more downs than ups. He led the league in turnovers. He's not their guy. I don't think he's the franchise. Again, when you have a top 2 pick in a loaded quarterback draft class, you don't fumble it. Yeah, I mean, you got to go with the best available quarterback you can, and Drake May is that.
Back-to-back North Carolina guys for him.
Yeah, well, Drake May is a lot more talented of a quarterback than Sam Howell.
I agree.
Drake May brings all of these same attributes. He's mobile, he's athletic, but similar to Justin Herbert, he has a big arm, very accurate, and maybe a little bit of a project, but I don't think he's going to take as long to develop as others think.
I agree. Next up, we got New England on the clock at 3. I mean, this is probably a position where you might want to trade back. I don't know. They have a lot of needs. I think quarterback's the biggest need, though. I mean, Mac Jones is not the guy. Bailey Zappe's not the guy.
No.
I'm torn here. Like, Penix is really good. I'm a lot higher on Penix than a lot of people are. But it's hard to not take Jayden Daniels here after the season that he had at LSU. That's going to be my pick for the Patriots. I think that maybe their new franchise quarterback, we'll see. Patriots so far haven't been able to develop quarterbacks, but I think Jayden Daniels provides this team with not only his arm, but his running ability, which they haven't had out of a quarterback, and I think that could be a big difference maker.
Yeah, he brings a lot of athleticism to the position. I mean, he's a Heisman winner, right? And I think something that's not as talked about with Jayden Daniels' game is how accurate he is of a passer, which, whether Belichick's there or not, I mean, you're looking for in your quarterback. He had 4 interceptions. He did not turn the ball over in college. And, LSU, plays some pretty big teams. I mean, New England, you need to get your guy, and I agree. I think they get him there. And Daniels, moving on, Arizona, this is an easy pick for me. Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
Shocked he's still on the board. Well, I'm not. I mean, obviously, quarterbacks take priority, but quarterbacks aside, pure talent, I think Marvin Harrison is probably the all-in-all best player in this draft class.
I agree.
Yeah, he's one of the best wide receiver talents we've seen in a long time, and we've seen some pretty good wide receiver talents over the past few years. No brainer for Arizona, get Kyler Murray another weapon.
Yeah, this brings up the Chargers. This is an interesting pick here. I still think wide receivers definitely need Keenan Allen on the wrong side of 30. Mike Williams, will he still be here? Probably, but long term, I don't know. Quentin Johnston still hasn't really panned out. I don't know if Malik Neighbors goes here. They definitely need a cornerback. The secondary is really bad. This is where I'm going to take him early. I'm going to go Kool-Aid.
Wow. So Kool-Aid has fallen a little bit in my eyes. I do think he's a phenomenal player, but I don't think he's going to test all that particularly well. I think that might hurt his draft stock a little bit, but I could see a team like the Chargers overlooking that and just looking purely on film and seeing he is a playmaker and he's had success in
I think their secondary
college.
is just so bad, and without trading this out, I think they have to take a corner.
Yeah. I think it was corner or line, but it leads up. These next two picks, I think, are probably heavy O-line picks.
Yeah.
The Giants, there is talks that they're going to trade a quarterback. You're on the hook for Daniel Jones for another year.
Yeah. And do you
they're-
really
they're-
trust Penix or Bo Nix?
Yeah. The top three quarterbacks are off the board. I think you can get a Bo Nix or Michael Penix in the second round. They have 2 second-round picks. I think you kind of wait it out. Maybe you trade back up into the first at the end. But no trades. I think right now, based purely on needs, you got to go tackle. It's between Olu Fashanu and Joe Alt for me. I'm leaning Olu Fashanu because the off chance that Evan Neal does pan out at right tackle. Fashanu you could always easily move inside the guard, or vice versa. You can move Neal inside the guard, play Fashanu at tackle. Andrew Thomas is definitely your left tackle. You're looking for a right tackle. Joe Alt does fit the bill of a right tackle more so than Fashanu. Fashanu is more of a traditional left tackle. But I think Fashanu, his athleticism alone, you can play him wherever you need to on that O-line. And with the amount of injuries the Giants had this past season, you definitely need a versatile O-lineman like that. I think Fashanu's the pick here.
That makes this pick a lot easier for me. Tennessee, I think you take whoever's there between Fashanu and Joe Alt. Obviously, this offensive line was terrible. They had zero protection for Levis and whoever else was back there. The run game, there wasn't many holes for Derrick Henry, although he did still have a great season. Got to go Joe Alt here.
Yeah, Joe Alt, Olu Fashanu, definitely 1A, 1B. You can't go wrong with either pick. I think they're both going to be surefire offensive linemen. Now, this Falcons pick's very interesting. You got 2 offensive players back-to-back at the top of the board. This is a team that they've never shied away from taking best available player. This is a tough one for me as traditionally, you go best available. I could see them going Malik Neighbors here. But you do have Drake London. Malik Neighbors isn't really a wide receiver 2. Drake London has looked really good as the one there. I think Atlanta could always improve on the edge, though. I think they value defense this year. You've gone offensive player within the top 10 over the last 3 straight years.
Yeah.
I think you would focus on defense here. You beef up that edge rusher, that edge rush position. I think you're going to go Dallas Turner. I think he ends up being the first guy off the board here. Although I do think Jared Verse is going to jump up draft boards after the combine.
And that is exactly my pick right here. Chicago on the clock already took Caleb Williams. Traded for Montez Sweat. They did lock him up, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, they did sign him to an extension. Go get your second edge rusher. Jared Verse is going to be my guy. Jared Verse is a guy that last year, if he entered the draft, probably would have gone top 10. Decided to go back to school. I'd say he underperformed a little bit, but Florida State in general just was not very good. I think Verse goes top 10 here. I think this is a perfect fit on the other side of Montez Sweat. Beef up the defensive line, get some more quarterback pressure, and you have a bright future. I'm going to go with Jared Verse.
I like that pick a lot. Shocked. That Malik Neighbors and Brock Bowers are still on the board here.
Yeah.
At pick 10?
Yeah.
I think the Jets, although they do need offensive line help, I think J.C. Latham could be in play for them here.
Yeah, I agree.
Or Marius Mims, but I also think the value of having someone like Malik Neighbors or someone like Brock Bowers here on the board still at pick 10 is too much to pass up. I don't know. It's tough because Joe Douglas, not really the type to make a flashy pick like that, but you have Garrett Wilson. You don't really have, and Breece Hall. You don't really have anybody else. As much as I want to take Malik Neighbors here, I think Malik Neighbors is a really, really great receiver talent. I'm going to take Brock Bowers.
I like the Bowers pick a lot. I mean, Conklin has been okay. CJ has almost got to go out the door. Jeremy Ruckert's a great in the run game. Brock Bowers just he's a good blocker, but he's also another weapon for Aaron Rodgers next season.
Right.
And Aaron Rodgers notoriously likes to use his tight ends a lot. So, yeah, Brock Bowers is a great pick there.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of why I leaned Bowers, because not only is he going to help in the receiving game with Rodgers, provide him another weapon, but you already have Breece Hall as a dynamic playmaker in the backfield. You get a guy that's a great run blocker.
Yeah.
That is just going to increase the the run production for that offense.
Next up, we've got Minnesota. Man, this is interesting because is Kirk Cousins gonna be? Well, he'll probably be back, but you probably got maybe 1 year out of him. I just don't know if any of these guys here are worthy of the draft pick at 11. I think cornerback is definitely a bigger need right now. You could say the same at linebacker. But my pick is going to be Clemson's Nate Wiggins, is it going to be Nate Wiggins, though? Hold on. It is not. Cooper DeJean.
Yeah, I mean, they're not one to shy away from having a white dude in the secondary. Harrison Smith, longtime Vikings player. I like that. Cooper DeJean is an athletic freak, and he's a playmaker in that secondary. I think he definitely could bolster, the Vikings secondary. Broncos definitely need an edge, and Latu is here still. But again, I think Malik Neighbors is such a value pick here. I think you can address edge either in free agency or via trade or anywhere else. Even in the second round.
Judy wants out.
Cortland Sutton's getting up there. Malik Neighbors being here at 12 is just criminal.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors is the pick for Denver. Gives Sean Payton a dynamic playmaker to work into his offense.
I totally agree with that. And that brings us to the Las Vegas Raiders. I think interior defensive line is definitely in play. Jerjon Newton out of Illinois is really solid season.
Yeah. And, I mean, knowing how the Raiders draft, kicker might be in play too.
It could be in play.
Repeat of Seabass.
Long snapper, maybe Peter Bowden.
Yeah, just jokes.
But you could use another edge rusher on the other side of Max Crosby. Quarterback is definitely in play. But I think you got to go get another weapon. You're sitting here with a lot of big-name wide receivers on the board, and you don't know if Devontae Adams is going to be there. He may leave in free agency, which would leave Jacoby Myers as the wide receiver 1. And I don't think that's you're not going to win many games with that.
Yeah, he's not a viable receiver.
I am going to go Rome Odunze here. I love Rome Odunze, and I think he is a perfect fit there. No idea what they're going to do at quarterback, but yeah.
Now, interesting pick here for the Saints. They've kind of been in purgatory for the last few years, ever since Drew Brees really left.
Yeah.
I could see Jerjon Newton going here. The Saints are one of those teams though that they like to surprise people with their picks. I don't know. You have Chris Olave. And Rashid Shaheed. They seem to be pretty solid. Do you want to go over to who's left for edge? You have Latu out there. I think you gotta go Latu. I think he's he could be one of the best edge rushers or the best edge rusher in this draft. It's just his injury history has him fallen a little bit. I think you get a complete edge rusher. Cam Jordan is going to retire very soon. Let him learn from Jordan for a year.
Yeah, I agree. This is Indy on the clock at 15. Wide receivers got to be the play here. Indy, you have Michael Pittman, who's been phenomenal.
Free agent though.
Yes, a free agent. Josh Downs been okay. Not a wide receiver 1. And if Pittman does decide to leave, then you have to get your wide receiver 1. There's a lot of different options here. I am personally going to go with Keon Coleman, though.
I like it. Big body receiver.
Yep.
I mean, if you do lose Michael Pittman in free agency, he's a plug-and-play replacement.
Could have gone Ladd McConkey, but decided to.
No, it's a Patriots pick right there. We got Seattle up at pick 16. And I think Jerzon Newton's fall stops here.
Yeah.
I think he lands in Seattle. They traded for Leonard Williams. It's unclear if they're going to re-sign him. They give up a second for him, so they might, but I think Jerzon Newton solves an issue you have there on that D-line, and helps that defense stop the run.
Yeah.
Well, and Jerzon Newton also can rush the quarterback.
That is true. And we got Jacksonville on the clock at 17. A very disappointing season.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of different options for them. Corner, definitely a big need. Their secondary was pretty bad. Their defense was pretty bad all around. I'm going to go with Nate Wiggins here.
I like that pick.
I think Nate Wiggins fills the need at a boundary corner position for them. And, yeah, that's about all I got.
We have the Bengals here, pick 18. And, man, you got T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, both free agents.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at the board right here. I mean, you have Brian Thomas, who's built pretty similar to T. Higgins. He's an LSU boy. I mean, I think it's a match made in heaven. I mean, Joe Burrow has that LSU connection. Jamar Chase, LSU connection. Why not add another LSU receiver who's proved that he could be a big play threat, and get your replacement for T. Higgins on that offense?
I like it a lot. Green Bay here, I think offensive tackle's got to be in play.
Yeah.
It just makes too much sense. Now, it comes down to, would you rather Marius Mims or J.C. Latham? I'm going to go with the Bama boy.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of J.C. Latham. I think he's a very polished offensive lineman. I think what you see is what you get.
I agree.
Is there some issues there? I believe he struggles a little bit in the run game, but he's pretty good in pass pro. That's something they could work on. Tampa here at 20, and I mean, there's a couple different ways Tampa can go. I think they bring back Baker Mayfield.
I agree.
I mean, Mike Evans, free agent, but if Baker Mayfield returns, I think Mike Evans returns. But that defense had a lot of was big weakness this season. So I think you got a lean edge rusher. I mean, what does a good defense usually have? A good edge rush, right? So I think best guy left on the board, Chop Robinson. He's an athletic freak. I think this is another guy that's going to jump up on people's boards after he tests at the combine. I think he's going to put up great numbers. He's explosive, and Tampa's going to fall in love with him.
I like it. Arizona on the clock. Already got Marvin Harrison Jr. I think you need a corner big time.
Yeah.
I think that's their biggest need. It's not even close. And there's a couple guys even further down that I am a fan of. I am going to stick with my gut, though. I think Terrion Arnold is going to be really good. I watched him a lot at Bama this year. I think he's a playmaker. I think he's going to be a lockdown corner. And to get him here at 21, I think this is a great fit in Arizona, where they clearly need a lot of cornerback help.
Yeah, and I think Terrion Arnold is almost as good, if not just as good as Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yeah.
So I think that's a great pick there. That's a great value pick. Now we have the Rams. I mean, you could use help all over that defense. I mean, the defense has played well this year, but you got Aaron Donald's starting to get up there in age. He's been contemplating retirement. Not a ton of big names in the secondary. You've had some linebackers that have shown out. The edge. They had a couple of rookie edge rushers who I'm blanking on their names. They've been playing pretty well. But I think you're going for it now. And I think you got to continue to improve on that offensive line. Marius Mims still being there. Again, great value at a position of need.
Yeah.
I think you get a Marius Mims to bulk up that O-line.
I love it. Now this one's a fun pick. Pittsburgh Steelers. You drafted Joey Porter last year. been phenomenal.
Yeah.
You definitely, the offensive line, although on paper they were improved, they did not improve much. Graham Barton could definitely be in play. Same with Cedric Van Pran. This is tough because I really, really do think that Michael Penix could be in play here. And I could really see Pitt moving on from Kenny Pickett. I don't know if they've gotten enough out of him to where they're sold on him moving forward. But I do think corner is a bigger need right now. And I'm going to pair up Joey Porter with his college teammate, Kalen King.
I like that pick. We got Buffalo next up. Buffalo, I mean, they've been playing really hot. This is a team that, I mean, they kind of have everything in place right now, right? Like, I guess their biggest position in need was cornerback, which they addressed. You know, they got Russell Douglas. I mean, I do think receiver is probably the way they have to go. Gabe Davis is a free agent. I don't know if they bring him back. Stephon Diggs, I mean, there's the potential that he might not return to Buffalo, that he might want out. Man, Egbuka, I got to go Egbuka. Despite the injuries that he's faced this year, he's still a top threat in this draft. I mean, just at receiver. Yeah, I mean, he's going to pan out to be one of the best receivers in this draft.
Brings up your Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Personally, I agree with this. I think corner has got to be addressed. Darius Slay, again, on the wrong side of 30. Bradbury was pretty bad.
He's been horrible. But we have seen a lot of good things out of Keely Ringo and Eli Ricks. So we definitely have some young guys in the secondary there. I don't know if there's, value-wise, if there's anybody there. I mean, it's your turn to pick. So
you guys do also need another linebacker, I feel. And I just don't think any of these guys are first-round talents.
Right.
Maybe Jeremiah Trotter. I do like him a lot.
Yeah.
But I think you go either corner or get a third wide receiver.
One need I think is going to be addressed in the first round is or might be at least contemplated is O-line. Lane Johnson is 34, I believe. He's battled injuries. He's kind of taken a bit of a step back this year. I think we might look to get his replacement early on this year.
That is true. I like Kingsley Suamataia a lot.
I like him too. Project guy Jeff Stoutland gets a lot out of him.
Yep, that's gonna be my pick. BYU's, I forget his name.
Kingsley Suamataia.
Yeah.
We have KC up next, and they need quarterback. No, I'm just kidding. Receiver.
Yeah, Bo Nix, right?
Yeah. Well, a receiver. Rashee Rice showed out. Are any of these guys really worth taking?
A.D. Mitchell is, I think. I love Adonai Mitchell.
Yeah. But then again, their defense has played pretty good. But they could use a little bit of help on that D line. Not really anybody worth taking. Edge rusher. You have who's the guy at Purdue that they have?
Karlaftis.
Karlaftis is good, but I think you could always add to that edge rush. It's between Braylon Trice and Tumaloa. Because I think they could hit on receiver later in this draft.
I agree.
Chris Braswell, I think, is gonna rise up people's boards too. I'm gonna lean Braylon Trice.
Okay.
I think Braylon Trice is the pick for me.
Brings up Houston for me. My second favorite team, of course. And this is a young team with a lot of talent. It shows wide receiver as their biggest need. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. You have Tank Dell, who's coming off an injury. Nico Collins really took a big leap. Maybe you do get another wide receiver, though. Get a third weapon. But you also have Dalton Schultz. I think the offense
Dalton Schultz is free agent.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh. Did not know that. That makes it a whole lot more interesting. And that makes it a perfect pick for my guy. Keep him in Texas.
I like that pick.
Adonai Mitchell.
I like that pick a lot. I think Adonai Mitchell is going to be a very, very good receiver.
I
think he's a great compliment to what they have there with Collins and Dell. And again, stays in Texas. I mean, location works out perfectly. Now we have the Lions. Their offense is fine. Their offense is golden, but defense could use some help. You look at corner. Lassiter's there. Edge, you can get somebody to pair with Aiden Hutchinson. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to go JT Tuimoloau. I think you get a solid edge rusher to complement Aiden Hutchinson, and you create a pretty scary pass rush there.
I like that a lot. Brings me to the Dolphins offensive line. You got to address the line.
Mm-hmm.
You get your pick of tackle here.
I personally,
there's some talent down here.
I love Fuaga here. He's a mauler in the run game, and we've seen that Miami loves the run. And
they love Oos.
Yeah. So yeah,
name fits.
I do like that pick there. We had Dallas up next. This I don't agree. They have cornerback listed as a need here.
I do not agree either.
Yeah, you have Strap Gilmore, Trayvon Diggs is going to come off of injury. You have Deron Bland. They've had a lot of luck sourcing cornerbacks kind of in day 2.
Yeah.
I think. You could definitely go O-line here. I don't think receivers in play. I don't know what's the all. What's they saying for the all? You got it.
They're sold on corner. I'm not. I do not believe corner's a need for them. You can never go wrong with taking an offensive tackle.
I was just about to say, yeah, I think Troy Fatano, however you pronounce it, is probably the pick here.
He's been really solid.
He has, and he. He's kind of small. He doesn't have the length as an O tackle, so you might move him into guard, like they did with Tyler Smith,
which is really not a bad position to be in for them. You could use extra help anywhere on the line. So
yeah. So I think that's
I do like that pick. This is a luxury pick. You have Trent Williams potentially retiring. That could create a hole at tackle. I don't know if offensive line is their biggest need. Is Ayuk a free agent?
I believe so. That or they picked up his 5th-year option. I'm not sure.
I can't remember either.
I do think O-line is a huge need for them. I think the talent they've had on offense is kind of covered up the holes they have on the O-line. And look how much they struggled without Trent Williams during that stretch.
I don't know if I like the rest of the tackles here as first-round talents.
I'm a big Patrick Paul fan.
Are you?
Yeah. I think Patrick Paul is going to... I like Graham Barton, too.
I like Graham Barton a lot.
But he probably is going to pan out to be an interior lineman. But he does have history playing the tackle position. So, if you're looking for something more versatile, probably Graham Barton. If you're looking for a true tackle, I think Patrick Paul is the guy.
What about the Yale boy, Kieran Amagedeji?
I wouldn't take anybody from Yale in the first round.
I'm going to trust you on this one. I don't know much about Patrick Paul. I can't say I watched a Houston game this year, but
I've watched some film and he looks really good. He's going to be a value pick there. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go earlier than that. We ended on Baltimore. I don't know. Cornerback edge. They've had a great edge rush this year.
I don't know why wide receiver is not higher on the list for needs as well.
I think you got to go best available. I think
Lassiter.
Yeah, Lassiter out of Georgia is probably the pick here.
I completely
agree. Kind of a boring pick to end it on, but
yeah.
You can never have enough help in the secondary.
Yeah, that is true. Save.
Yeah. So
here's a look at our full mock draft.
I like how this board went.
I do too. I could have gone with a different pick here over Kool-Aid, but I thought it would be a little fun to throw somebody into the top 5 who I haven't really seen mocked this high.
Yeah, I love the
tackles here.
I love the alt. Or I love Fashanu to the Giants. I love Titans getting alt. I think Jared Verse going to Chicago that would pan out really well. I think Bowers is a great pick for the Jets. Malik Neighbors falling to Denver, dangerous.
Yeah, you got the run on wide receivers down here.
You do,
which is where you normally see the run on receivers.
I think J.C. Latham is a phenomenal pick for Green Bay. Terran Arnold, another great pick there for Arizona. I mean, Arizona walking away with Marvin Harrison Jr. and Terran Arnold, it would be a steal of the first round. They would get an A+. I do like the Patrick Paul pick for San Fran. Donnie Mitchell, another great pick as well for the Texans. I'm really satisfied with this mock draft.
So am I.
Leave a comment. Let us know what you agree with, what you disagree with. We know you'll comment what you disagree with. But this was fun to do. There's going to be probably a few more to come out before the draft.
Yeah, we'll be doing quite a few this season.
So keep your eyes peeled. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Turn on the notifications bell so you are notified when we post. And yeah.
That'll wrap it up. We'll see you guys in the next episode. And as always, stay cool.